Okay, we're back. Are we done for the moment with 9.2, the district priorities, and we'll revisit that next month? All right. 9.3 is to approve a $4,008 donation from the Guilford Touchdown Club. They are proposing to pay for an assistant football coach's salary. Is there a motion that we approve that donation with thanks?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
And 9.4 is to approve a donation of 400 copies of the 375th anniversary of Guilford's founding commemorative book, valued at approximately $2,000. I think the plan is to give one to every teacher in the district. Is that what the plan
That
is?
is the plan.
Okay, that's great. Is there a motion that we approve that, also with thanks?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, well, excellent. It's actually a very nice book. If, I don't know if people have seen it, but 10, unfinished business? Anything? Okay. Committee reports, policy committee, is anything going on?
We have not met over the summer, so we will be reporting back next time.
Operations committee, you?
I believe
There's a
we've
lot
touched
going
on,
but,
yeah, we've touched on everything here.
Okay. GHS building committee liaison, is anything?
We meet tomorrow. We're in a bit of a quiet period. I'm happy to report that the last GHS Building Committee meeting that I attended adjourned after 50 minutes. It was a record.
I should say, we did do a tour of the building. Mr. Masseni brought us on a tour of the building, several of us anyway, in a couple of different groups, I guess. It is looking like a building. It's, right?
Very impressive.
It is a very exciting time out there right now.
Yeah. Good. Town committee liaisons, anything? Anything at all?
Acquisition committee met last Thursday, and the week before that, we walked some properties, but nothing related to school
No,
business.
that's correct. We're not in the property buying world. Mr. Sands, did you go to a pension committee meeting?
Yep. The pensions are doing fine. The town is slowly but surely following our lead to cap out the pensions and convert over to defined contribution. We've got some reviews coming up with a couple of the managers, but I would say that the pension's been doing quite well relative to the market.
Okay. Anything else, town committees? No? Okay, public questions?
So I just had a question, Marion Breeze, 42 Arrowhead Drive. I had a question about the what you mentioned, Dr. Freeman, and maybe Dr. Keene, you can answer this. You mentioned that 7 years ago there were fewer AP classes, but there were times in the conversation when I heard the use class and section used interchangeably, and I just wanted to clarify whether it was sections or classes, because, for example, I know that when my oldest daughter was in 10th grade, she could take honors classes, honors chemistry, honors civics. Those classes are no longer available. So there are other honors classes that I also believe have been discontinued. So when you talk about a class, the honors classes are no longer available. I don't know if you have fewer or more AP sections versus AP classes. So I wanted some clarification on that, if you could address that. And then also, is your consultant going to look at not just AP courses, but also honors classes? And the reason that honors classes are so important is that for students entering 10th grade, students entering 9th grade don't have access to high-level classes, generally speaking. They're all level 0. For students who were really excelling at those classes, and in 10th grade, honors courses were available to them. I don't know what the status is of honors courses going forward. I don't know if you have a plan or can speak to that.
I understand the question. I can't speak to it now. I would need to access Mr. Massenti and the guidance staff to get the history on that. AP courses and honors courses are at different levels, so I know that we have more AP offerings. I understand the distinction between offerings and sections, but would also need to talk to Mr. Massenti and his team and get back to you. I wouldn't be comfortable trying to answer that now.
Totally understand. I just
Yep.
want to make sure if you guys have I saw that you were referring to a piece of paper. When you're looking at that in the future, I would ask just clarify whether it's a section that you're talking about or the number of AP classes, because I think it's really important, especially when you're comparing other schools. It's great to offer that many AP classes, but if students don't have access to those classes, it actually is a detriment to them when they're applying to colleges, and that continues to be an issue. And I did also want to mention one thing. I thought you might bring it up, which is why I didn't in my comments. I don't know if the Board of Ed has discussed this previously, or if you were aware that the master scheduling program crashed this summer at the high school, and that was one of the reasons why there was such a challenge for scheduling. And I think, again, resources, support needs to be made available, and if you're going to ask the guidance office to do scheduling in the spring, I think that's great, but in the spring is when they are full board helping high school seniors who are scrambling, some who didn't get into a college, some who don't know what they want to do next year, some who are facing other serious challenges, financial changes with their family and they can't go to college. So if you're going to ask the teachers to do, or the staff to do that next spring, particularly with a new high school coming in, so much is going to be changed. And I realize the budget's already done for this year, but I would ask to really take a close look at that and make sure that if you're asking them to do that, that there are resources available. Okay. And lastly, academic rigor, I never thought about it. As a communications professional, I would say, yeah, words are really important, and whether or not you should change that word, I don't know, but I think it's a great opportunity to engage the community, as you talked about at one of the last meetings about listening to the community and talking to them. That's a great opportunity to talk to them about what words mean and what you mean by rigor or rigorous. I just think it's a nice launch pad to start a conversation with the community. So thank you.
Great suggestion, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Then we have some items on executive session that I think will be very short.
It'll be very brief.
So is there, in this specifically, I should say, there are update on negotiations and an update on a school accommodations hearing. So is there a motion to go into executive session for those purposes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, then we will go into executive session. We'll come into public session only for the purpose of adjourning. There will be no more public votes. Thank you.
Right.